It is Saturday night, and you are in the right place because this is the Ultimate Schmoedown Aftershow, where this fine group of folks is going to be breaking down some super stellar Schmoedown action coming at you. 3 regular week matches and 2 stellar matches from a pay-per-view, folks. We're going to be coming at you with 2 guests. One of them I know all of you are extremely familiar with. The other, Mr. Robert Parker. And I cannot wait to get down and dirty with everybody in the Schmoedown, because this was a great week of just matches. I think all the matches were fantastic. Throwing it over to Boggs. How's your week been, bud?
All right, Geezy. Yeah, not bad. So, packed matches, and we've got teams matches now, and they're all kind of blending into each other. So it's all super kind of hectic and stuff going on. But yeah, been all good, man. How are you?
Good. March Madness is over, but now the Schmoedown is making it May Madness over there. How about you, John Barr? How are you loving this tournament season kicking back up?
Oh, yeah, it is fully May, and I am fully mad. I wake up every day screaming, and I go to bed crying, and that's just what 2020 does to a person. Okay. Very excited to be here, though, talking about this week of matches with y'all. I have spent the past morning at work yelling all day. I've let my compatriots here know, so keep a count of how many times my voice cracks during this episode. I'm shooting for under 10, but no promises.
Well, I hope that everyone knows how hard you, sir, have been working this entire time, and we appreciate you. And Soul, how are you? I feel like it's been ages, but we just did a wonderful Patreon match over on the Outlaw Nation Patron Discord channel. How are you?
Yeah, join the Patreon, and you can join our little fan league that we're doing now with matches. Make sure that you hit that like button on this video. Donate to the Streamlabs. It's right up there. Colin's in the way because I'm at the bottom, but it's above Colin. And Dom Toretto's outside, so like everything is as it should be. And my favorite things was all the memes yesterday of "It's gonna be May."
Well,
it's May, guys.
Now it is, and we can get to it. We're only a few days away from May the 4th. May it be with all of you. And let's get into this episode, folks. As always, like Soul was saying, get in them Streamlabs and get in the conversation. We appreciate those. We also appreciate the super chats, and make sure, of course, like Boggs, who wouldn't want to play us in a patron match, right? Like, come on, y'all, get in this Discord, challenge us, and we want to.
He wants to get whooped.
Yeah,
line him up, Colin. Line him up. Let's do
it. What's your team name again?
The Ultimate Dyad. Let's go. The Dyad of the Schmoedown world. We belong together, and that's what brings us to the comments from last week's episode. So, what you got?
All right. So first we have Chris Taylor going, "This is the show where all Schmoedown competitors, managers, and fans should watch." Thank you so much, Chris. That's super nice. We love you here.
Thanks, Chris.
Then we have from Jeremy Miller, our staple in the comments, going, "Great Sunday show with JTE. I think Free For All 4 is my favorite, even without the live crowd, which is crazy. Yeah, tell us what your favorite Free For All is, because we need more interaction with you guys, people." And then we have Drunken Prayer going, "Had to dip out early, so sorry I couldn't ask more pointless questions." They're never pointless, my friend. But caught up after, and great to see JTE back, and great chat as always.
Talking about comic books, Colin, I need your thoughts on Invincible, quick.
Okay, y'all. Okay, I can never go on a train again. Can literally never go on a train ever again. The person who at 1 a.m. tweeted the video of the dude jumping out of the New York City subway and is like, "When I see them coming through."
Oh yeah. And
like,
he gets like
golden. Just golden. He gets like whacked by the pole or something. Hilarious.
Yeah. I just want to say, Boggs, you're welcome, because you wouldn't watch Invincible if it wasn't for me. So
I'm not spoiling anything, John. You're fine. There's just a scene with the train.
I have 1 episode left.
Okay.
So get ready for the train.
Yeah. I'm having an issue with this, and folks, we are waiting for an illustrious guest to join us. So please enjoy this little edition of Soul Talk. It's like an anime for the first time where I finish an anime and I know there's like 20 volumes of an anime to watch or to read, or a manga to read from the anime. And now I know that like I could go find out what happens next in Invincible because I've read up to a certain point, but now it's so good I don't.
Oh, dude, speaking of trains and speaking of animated trains at that, I'm going to a movie theater for the first time on Monday since the pandemic started to go see the Demon Slayer movie.
Mugen Train, fantastic
That's
animation.
I still need to watch the first season before I go watch the movie. I might just binge the entire season and then go watch the movie.
Well, what we all really need to watch is what is sure to be the excellent introduction of our special guest. He is...
Folks, he is the greatest of all time to ever play the game that we call the Schmoedown. It is John the Outlaw Rocha!
It's goddamn right. It's well said. John Barr, what was your intro? Was it going to be even more glowing? Was it going to be even more glowing, John Barr?
Absolutely. I was definitely going to bring up the belts. I was going to bring up the hats. I mean, we got to talk about the hats, the belts, every article of clothing you've ever worn. It's always the best.
I got the cod piece. It's all here. Let's make it happen. I love it. Let's talk about
your Liverpool jacket.
Liverpool jacket, the whole nine, the hat, the glasses. I'm happy to be on the Ultimate Schmoedown after show. What are you fools talking about? What's going on?
We're talking about you, sir, because you're back. Better than ever. Rushmore is here. We had your boy JTE on last week. Fantastic conversation. He is so locked in. You can tell how locked in. He missed the game. He didn't want to be away. Now he's back, and you can feel the energy coming from him. What's it like to have someone hungry? I mean, like a pit bull, ready to go at any time. You just got to let him loose.
Well, the greatest thing the fans, quote unquote, fans of the Schmoedown ever did was to start talking smack about JTE. These fans who just showed up 2 seconds ago thinking they know the history of the game, talking smack about JTE, saying the game passed him by. Nothing motivates a former champion than people not believing in that champion. Nothing motivates a Latino than people not believing him, and nothing motivates a person who is vertically challenged from showing what they can do like JT than not believing in him. So I love it madly. I love his fire. I love his passion. I love that we're low-key doing our thing, and it was a great first match for both of us. You know, you got to figure out, can you play well with somebody? You can do all the training you want, but until you get in the ring, you don't really know, and we were smooth as silk, and the press room found that out.
But they found it out in round one. Let's get right into it.
That's for sure.
Because one team showed up for round one, and the other team did not. I have not seen two dudes locked in like that in a while. And we've been missing teams, and this is a high bar for y'all to be setting for everybody else coming up. We got a lot of new teams, and y'all have set the bar that we haven't seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
What was that like in round one? You're looking over, you had the one miss. JT goes with the perfect round, picks it up, boom.
Yeah, you know, if you believe these idiots in the comments section of this match, they're all like, oh, JT carried this match. JT could have played this match on his own. I only missed one question in that first round, and it was an arguably tough first round question for sure. The actors in some obscure movie of Terry Gilliam's. It's not even his most popular movie, for God's sake. So I stumbled there, but we picked it right up, and we did well. He got that perfect round, handled his business. All you need is one player, and when you're playing a team's match, you need one player to get that perfect round, handle his business. It already intimidates the other team. We did see Perri kind of drop some easy ones that I was really surprised about. Josh Horowitz coming, and who knows what they teach you at MTV, but it clearly isn't enough about movies, and he was stumbling. They both stumbled out of that first round, and we had the lead that we needed to have. That's what we came in with. The mentality is we had to come out the gate and not even let them think they can hang around. I'm sure you all are sports watchers. If you let a team that doesn't know how good they are hang around too long, they can pull off the upset. We didn't want any upsets in this tournament on our side, and we wanted to handle business right off the bat, and we did so, and we had the mental edge going into that second round for sure.
And it seemed like Perri for sure had the hardest time of anybody in round one. But Boggs, I'm going to throw this to you and your thoughts on Horowitz. His first time in the Schmoedown. I mean, definitely he's got charisma. I like it. And 6 out of 8 in your first Schmoedown it ain't bad. I like the 6.5. Right, we like those 7s and 8s around here, but 6 ain't too shabby.
Yeah, it's not, to be fair. I thought he gave a decent account of himself overall. But it was, it was a rough round for Perri. She is better than that. She has shown she's a better player than that overall. But as JT was saying in the promo, that John and JT have been through every scenario in the Schmoedown. That's digital, that's live, that's behind, that's in front, that's perfect. So just going into this as the round unfolded, as they were missing question after question, you did feel like you did kind of fear for the press room, because these guys just coming in hot, and they kind of started off the match really well. So how does it feel, John, going after the first round, playing so well? Did you kind of, obviously you put them in their place there, did you sense, because watching it back, I did think it was playing on Perri's mind a little bit, because she seemed a little bit maybe a little bit anxious because of how many questions he's mentioned, because even like some of us here, we're playing fan league matches after you've had a rough first round, this playing on your mind the whole time. Like even when the manager's talking to you, when you're answering other questions, you're sweating because you're thinking, I'm under pressure, I need to get more points. Overall thoughts on the first round?
As soon as we saw her falter, as soon as we saw Horowitz drop a couple, we knew we got what we needed. We knew we had the mental edge going in the second round. You can't predict what's going to happen in a match. You just got to play it as it lays. And certainly, as you said, JT and I have been through all the wars you can have in this Schmoedown. We have had tough first rounds, having to bounce back from tough first rounds, having to recover. People talk about the wheel round as the most important round. I think every single round is important equally, depending on the situation that you're in. You never know what that one extra point will lead to or not lead to if you don't answer it. I've said this many, many times. Me not going to repeat on the Boris Karloff question last year against Ethan was that one extra point I could have gotten to that would have made me the victor in that situation. And the same thing happened against KOrruption the first time. If I don't erase Red Planet and write the Mars mission of Mars, then we win by 1 point. So you just never know in that first round. So you, against a new team, you want to have the mental edge going into the second round. And we felt like we didn't take anything for granted. That's not how we're built. Every round, you never know what's going to happen, but we felt like we had the right position to be in going into the second round to try to put them away. We wanted a KO. We didn't even want to go to the third round. That was our approach going into this match.
And they started off with that in mind. Round 2 is a success. I mean, Soul, 11 out of 12 points in action and adventure. I mean, Rushmore, welcome to the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I said, once again, I saw some of the comments in the YouTube section. People like, oh, Rocha just sat back. That's right, because JT spun his category. JTE put action and adventure on the wheel, just as if I had put Westerns on the wheel. JT would have sat back and let me mow through those questions. That's how it works. We wanted to put one category on there that was JTE's and one category that was on there that was mine. That's how we wanted to play this thing. We wanted to come out with our strengths right off the bat, not try to play this whole let's pick a category they might not be good in. We just wanted to pick our strengths right off the bat. JT spun action and adventure, and I knew all I had to do was sit back and let the master go to work, and it was incredible. I knew the Japan one at the end. I knew a couple of the other ones. JT kind of slid in. He knew that Avatar one. I had no idea on that Avatar one, and he got the Speed one. Once I heard the release date, then put Annie together. That's when Speed finally came to me, but JT was already on top of it. So it was a joy to sit back and watch my man handle business in that second round. And I'm so confused by the fans. Have you never watched a team's match? That's usually how it works. When one player gets a category that they know, you just sit back and let them do their thing. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, some folks, I know this digital stuff's, it's good. Y'all got to go back and watch some of these matches in the studio and remind you how we did it back in the day. So this team, to me, is one of the most electric in terms of what they both bring to the table in terms of entertainment value and talent. And that raises the floor and the ceiling to keep pushing each other higher and higher as they can go. Like, Rocha is the perfect partner to bring the best out of JTE. Is he not?
I love this team together. Round 2 is when you see where teams thrive and see their how they work together, because round 1 is just like a round 1 in the singles, because you're playing by yourself, you're playing against the questions. Round 2 is when you're working together, and Rocha did the perfect thing. Goes, my teammate knows this, I'm gonna support him, I'm gonna make sure that we don't have to drop to multiple choice, because JT, we know he knows the answers, he just needed the confirmation from Rocha, and that was what Rocha was there for. Is so just the fact that they were playing so well together. It was, this is your category. I'm gonna back you up. I'm gonna be the supportive player here, and I love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no ego involved when you trust the other player. You can sit back and look, I've won belts. I've won matches against the greats. So what the hell do I care if I have to sit back a little bit and let my man go to work? Remember, I have never retired. I have never walked away from this game. I've never taken any time off unless I've lost a match from this game. JT last year, barely played. I don't think he played once. It was an exhibition match, I think. And so he's the one that needed to get back into the rhythm of things. So I was happy to let my brother take the lead in that second round and handle business. And I'm so inspired by that guy. His utter belief in himself is an incredible thing to witness. It's fantastic to be around somebody who fully believes in himself. He's reminding me what it's like to be hungry again. He is stripping off the prettiness that Dan Murrell tried to put on me, that Ben Bateman tried to put on me. He is reminding me what it's like to be back again in those first few years when you got gravel, barbed wire, and broken glass in your guts trying to prove what you can do. Let them all be pretty. We're back down here like junkyard dogs trying to handle our business, and I love it.
Well, we have a StreamYard from a Streamlab chat from someone who I think you know well. His name is Canada Rocks.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
I would just like to say this again. This is not me, the host, Colin, saying the words that are about to come out of my mouth. These are from Canada Rocks.
Don't be scared, Colin. It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was scared. I
John,
was so glad he didn't.
do you realize that the same scene in Men in Black has now cost you 7 points in this game?
How so?
The 2-point steal from Friday's match and the NYPD 5-pointer from last year. If you want, you can borrow my copy of the film.
Does it have the Man of Steel? Does it where the ship landed in Canada? I just want to know. Does Canada Rocks understand? You know, it's easy to talk shit when you're sitting in the background losing your own fan league matches to try to talk about what it's like in the big time. Son, know your role and shut your damn mouth, as my brother says. You know, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and certainly it is something I need to look at, so it's not a bad thing to bring up. I will certainly be quite aware of Men in Black questions. Maybe if your dumbass would write some, I might learn them. So Men in Black questions are a good thing to put into my study profile. So I appreciate that, Royko. But please understand, know your country and where they set movies in your own damn country.
And if there was ever a better time to plug the Outlaw Nation Discord, I don't know what is. Folks, absolutely hop in that Discord right now. Send in your Streamlabs so you too can be the subject of ire and fury from our dear leader, John the Outlaw Rocha.
Mr. Bart, I would love to know what you thought about the press room. I think this is a team that's really up your alley. They are very, they have very positive energy, much like you.
That's a very nice way of calling me a loser, Colin, and I'll take it in stride.
Okay.
Listen, I mean, again, talking about the comments here, I did feel like people were a little too quick to toss Perri aside. Like, there's some comments that were completely spelling her name wrong on top of being like, oh, she needs to retire right away. That's nonsense. She definitely had a bad game, but like we were just talking about how Lon Harris had a bad performance with Final Exam, and then he came back and had a really friggin' good one against Drew McWeeny. And again, if you want to talk about kind of upsets, people coming to surprise you, let's talk about how Perri had a big surprise win against Mike Kalinowski in the singles tournament. So I definitely think that anyone walking away from this match thinking that Perri is no good at this game, that the press room is not a team to be feared, maybe down the line, they're fools. But yeah, this team was just a little bit too green, a little bit too much kind of like trying to figure themselves out, trying to like still nail down how much they trusted each other and could rely on each other. You saw that coming through specifically in their second round. I think they did a really good job there. But when you're that green and you're going up against two of the most seasoned of all time, then like, yeah, you're going to lose, and that's okay. Sometimes you lose. What I'm a little bit more interested in is talking about what is going to be next up on the horizon for Rushmore, because obviously we know that that side of the bracket is decided, and you'll be going up against Lightning Time, including Mr. Ethan Erwin, who had some you know, much like reading a Canada Rock Streamlab, he had some choice words talking about your previous matches. How much does that match excite you looking down the line?
It excites me because I was so close to beating him last year, and I've already TKO'd Liz, so we can put that in the win column. But yeah, this situation here, I've never beaten Ethan Erwin tag teams. singles matches or even triple threats. I've never beaten him. So the motivation here is to do so. Last year I prepped like I've never prepped before for him, and I was so close, so damn close. I was a Sidney Pollack question away from staying alive, and some people argued that I should have challenged that because you can clearly read what I was intending to write, and since I was the first person to answer, they could have given me the point, but that's neither here nor there. Just like him, me talking about this, he's living in the past. He's relying on stuff from the past as a harbinger of the future or the present. And I'm telling you right now, I ain't that player I was a year ago. I ain't nowhere near that player I was a year ago. Dare I say it, I'm even better than I was a year ago. And people said last year was some of the best Schmoedown I ever played, even though I lost a number of matches. And I agreed with them. I knew I had to make some tweaks. So coming into this season, I'm a completely different player. And once again, like I said, there's something about riding or dying with a guy who utterly believes in himself, believes in me, and believes in us that gives you that extra little push. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. The Outlaws never run away from a challenge, never been afraid of a challenge. So lightning time, we are ready for you. That's for damn sure. Let's do this thing. Let's clash on the field of battle, and let's see who comes out on top. I'm excited for it. Oh, one more thing on the Perri situation. People need to get off of her. She did a damn good job. She fought her butt off. Her and Josh did a nice job in round 2, staying alive. I think I would have answered Chris Pine in that question, or Jake Johnson in that question, and we might have lost it. So they did a nice job negotiating the situation up until that third round when they almost had to make us answer a question. So everybody's got bad first rounds. Look, Kalinowski had a shitty first round, didn't he? And he lost the tag team championships. Now he's back in the driver's seat after last night. So you just never know what can happen in this world of the Schmoedown. Don't take one first round in one match as some kind of example of what this player is. You just never know.
Well, Soul, I mean, let's get right into it. Let's find out how we got to this matchup between Lightning Time and Rushmore, because honestly, out of the 5 matches this week, this was the one that went the distance. This, to me, felt like the most competitive bout that we had of the week. And unfortunately, it seemed like Erwin was not the best player on the screen for the first time in a long time.
Well, I want to start with the promos because I guess everyone was feeling like, let's just all do our promos outside. And then we get a little nugget at the end that Ben and Paul were at Kate's house.
Oh, I love that. So that ruled. That was great.
So, like, I wanted to throw to, like, John Barr first. Like, what were your thoughts on that promo? You said you loved it.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was, like, delightful. I mean, I was very excited by this team. I felt like the Outsiders really represented the best that the Den has to offer. Obviously, both Ben and Paul having been kind of linchpins of the Den last year. Not necessarily working out as well, though the Pride had a pretty solid run. Obviously, Tom and Paul never really took off in the way that they had hoped. So I was really excited to see this. And again, just like the personality of all of these three together, Kate is so fucking hilarious. We were so blessed to have her on a little while ago. Also, Paul Preston, very, very funny guy. He's like always on in such a way that's so impressive. And then Ben, obviously we only kind of got to see him as sort of this like heel at first. And obviously the whole bird sound shenanigans kind of, I think, turned a lot of people against him. So to see him kind of like being as goofy and like very quickly able to match Kate and Paul, it made me very excited for this, especially because I was already like, all right, how are these folks going to rise to the occasion against Erwin and Liz Shannon Miller? And that was just, you know, a fun little way to get things started.
And people were writing the Outsiders off going, oh, this is definitely going to be Ethan and Liz. So, Rocha, your thought of this matchup together before watching them play, like, what were your thoughts on how it was going to go and the fact that the Outsiders were being written off?
Yeah, I don't understand people writing off the Outsiders. You know, Ben Goddard was almost Rookie of the Year last year. He showed really well what he could do. At times, you could argue carrying Rachel Silvestrini through their tag team matches last year. Paul Preston didn't show up too strongly last year. I think he had a lot of stuff on his mind, transitioning into a new situation in his life. Maybe that kept him out of the mental focus that you need to have to play in the Schmoedown. You can't come in half-ass into the game anymore, ladies and gentlemen. You can't take weekends off. You can't take days off. You can't take study times off. You got to come in ready to go nowadays. And if you can't, then you're going to get quickly kicked out of this, out of a tournament or kicked out of a match. That's for damn sure. And I think Paul, and this is the thing, I'll pull the curtain back even more. Paul Preston reached out to the Finstock Exchange during that free agency period or during that off-season period. Paul Preston called me up. Paul Preston said, hey, no one's knocking on my door. He said, no one's knocking on my door. What are you guys looking for? What do you want? So we started to have a fun conversation with Paul Preston. Paul Preston considered coming to the Finstock Exchange, and in the end, that fool went with the Den. He thought, oh, you know what? I'll go be the premier player of the Den. Well, pal, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. You've got to get it done when your name is called if you're going to lead a faction. I got 2 KOs on my record, lead my faction, captaining my faction. You've got a first-round exit. There's the difference. You should have come with us. Then you could have been part of the crew, learning your trivia and being able to step up against big time Ethan Erwin and Lightning Liz Shannon Miller. But in the end, you played as well as you could play. You got all the way to that end, but you couldn't get the job done, Paul. And now we got to worry about you in singles. Now we got to wonder what happens to that tag team now, because I think both those guys are incredibly knowledgeable about film trivia, but somehow Paul keeps coming up short. It's a frustrating situation for sure, I'm sure, for him, but you had a chance to be on the Finstock Exchange. You chose the fanny pack, and look what happened.
If Christian ever does the what if scenario for the Schmoedown, I really want to see now what if Paul Preston went to the Finstock Exchange. That would be, I just want to see Gucci and Paul Preston together. That would have been phenomenal.
He won. He won. Yeah.
Going to round one.
Nobody cares, Canada Rocks. Nobody cares. Go ahead.
So going into round one, we have Ben and Liz missing the Rumble in the Bronx question, and then everyone missing the Wrath of the Titans question. Goes, being tricky there. Goes, let me give you all the people that were in the first movie, give you a release date.
Yeah.
So this really was a release date question. So throwing it over to you, Colin, what did you think of that little trickiness there?
Okay. Saw it coming. PJ, my bud, saw it coming. All right. These are tricks, but I love the tricks, and that's the changing in the game. You got to stay on your toes. They're doing that more often. We've seen questions like that this year where it is 2 movies. Now choose. I believe there was one a few weeks ago we discussed where it was 1 movie until the and last person, and it changes completely, and your brain has to go in a completely different direction. I love that. It ups the level of the competitors at the same time, because then it's like, oh, that makes them take a step back and then bring their level up. Liz is on fire right now. This to me was like my whole aura was like, Liz is so comfortable where she is right now in the game, in the way that the usual suspects have been able to surround her with Ethan, who brought her into this game, and Sam, who's, when it comes to gamesmanship, everyone knows top 3 manager when it comes to gamesmanship. She's in the right place at the right time. It's just Ethan right now is who needs to raise it up.
Yeah, and then with that too, yeah, they were saying Princess Diaries too. It was that Chris Pine. I knew it immediately. I was like, oh, I've asked that question before. I was like, he's Devereaux in Princess Diaries too. Because Rocha, this is a release date question. Did you get it when you were playing along?
Did I what? Say this again?
Did you get the question when you were playing along? Because it is a release date question.
Oh, yeah. No, I did not get that question. I mean, that's terrible movies are tough for me to remember. I'll tell you, to be honest with you, because you have to go back and watch those things and get them in your head. And I just didn't, at the time, I did not get that right. But then, you know, what's great about watching other matches is you wake up to how these questions are being asked. You wake up to what kind of franchises the question writers are looking at. So it makes you study even harder. It makes you look at those franchises even harder and gets things in your head. So I thought I would have missed that question as well. So I don't fault any of them for missing that question. It's a crap movie.
It is a crap movie. I think I watched only like the first few minutes of it, and I was like, I'm done here.
Yeah.
But going on to round 2, which I just need to fault Jenny Lorenzo. She's one of my favorite YouTubers out there. She's Cuban. She does the Cuban abuela who mispronounces things. And so doing Jurassic Park, I always think your ass is parked. So I was laughing through the entire round 2 with that. So they missed the Nick Robinson question, which also wasn't able to get stolen there. So, Boggs, what would you think of the Jurassic Park, The Outsiders, round 2?
Yeah, they weren't perfect the rest of the round, but it was a big miss. Because obviously it is an IG slice. Ben clearly put it on the wheel, took charge of the round. And yeah, it just led them kind of overall being behind in the second round. So it was a bit rough there. Luckily, it wasn't stolen by Lightning Time, but it was a bit rough. So I think people were kind of, I think they could kind of bring it to this point of the match and say, oh, okay, that first question cost them the match. But I just want to kind of back Ben a little bit there because they all missed questions in round 1. So I think it's not totally on him. Just because he missed that one question, because maybe if it got stolen, maybe you could have said that. But Paul and Ben both missed questions in the first round, so yeah, people take it easy on him. But yeah, just overall really solid. I think you're right, Colin. Liz was the best player in this match. Obviously, we'll come to Liz and Ethan later on in the round, but I thought their communication was great. And the whole time I was thinking, man, look how good she's playing. I'm Rocha whooped her. That was the whole time I was thinking. But no, honestly, they super interesting round, and obviously going into Lightning Time, wanted to see if they could match that because they had a good round. So
yeah, and Lightning Time ended up getting dance movies, and they were playing like, oh, this is not the thing that we put on the wheel. They totally put it on the wheel, guys. Come on, we all could see it, especially with Liz later in their post-match interview goes, I love dance movies. I was like, yeah, you put it on the wheel. But
that's the one thing I miss about the studio matches is I love the cards that would come up, you guys in front of the green screen, either doing your punches or your back-to-backs and whatnot, and it would show your strengths and stuff. I mean, usually, now that we know, I mean, this is just years later realizing, those are the things you put on the wheel probably, right, Rocha?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing you figure out right off the bat.
You think about it now, but they don't do that now because that's gamesmanship is now a different part of the game. But I feel like that's just this changes. It's weird. It's just a little change.
Yeah. Well, listen, I studied dance films for Liz before our match. I had a feeling Liz Shannon Miller was going to come in with those dance films, so I put it on. I made sure I studied it with Barbarian before, just in case she might have put them on the wheel. You got to know you got to scout your competitor. That's what I'm saying.
Right, exactly. And with that, like the fact too that Ethan Erwin seen Bring It On and knew about the East Compton Clovers. Yeah. And I think too he had a little, if he would have said Leprechaun, he could have challenged before going to multiple choice because the Leprechaun is the mascot. Goes, their name is the Clovers.
Yeah.
So that's why they went down to multiple choice, but they got the question right. So why would you challenge a question that you got right? So going on, Colin, you started it off there. Goes, what did you think of their round 2?
The way their brains work, you can see why Ethan brought her in, and it's unfortunate they haven't been playing sooner because who knows what, because these two work together extremely well. The way that both of them have Ethan's intricate knowledge of movie production and the cycle of movie production and the things that he's just privy to in his normal everyday life is a strength that you just have to account for. And Liz's life is covering these things. So there are holes that she's able to cover when it comes to plot details about films that, Ethan's able to skirt around some plot detail questions of films or actor stuff just because he knows who's in there, right? And that's what makes this team so scary. And they got dance films and they just dance right through it.
They dance right through it. They mowed through it. No surprise. Mm-hmm.
The fact too that Bring It On is part of a dance movie, I was like, is it considered a dance movie? We'll see. That's an argument for another day. But they ended round 2 with 24-23. So Rocha, if you were in the position of the Outsiders where you're going into round 3, one down, where would your mindset be going into that round?
That we're still in this thing and anything can happen. Those 5-pointers have been so difficult this year and last year as well, and they've made them really crafty. Some of them you can get, some of them are right there in front of your nose, and you just get sent into 5 different directions depending on what facts are in that question. So it's a really tough situation when you're going into that a 5-pointer, so you never know what can happen. So if I'm down by 1 point, I'm actually sitting back and being okay with it because you're not out of it. If you're down by 7, you're pretty much out of it. I mean, unless you're Dan Murrow playing Ben Bateman. But most of the time, you're pretty much out of it when you're down 7 points.
I love it. I love it here. But round 3, pretty much everyone got their questions right. And so it ended up with Lightning Time winning. So it's going to be Rushmore versus Lightning Time. Yeah. I do have to, Paul, the way he picked his numbers was probably one of my favorite things of this match. Goes, how much is the first question worth? 2 points? Okay, I'm going to go with 2. How much is the second question worth? 3 points? Okay, I'll go with 3. How much is the third question worth? 5? Let's go with 12. So, John Barr, what did you think of their round 3? And just Paul, just having fun with it and being the jokester that we love to see.
Oh, classic subversion of expectations. It's a classic rule of comedy. Worked very well. Yeah, I mean, round 3, it was great just to kind of see it all go back and forth, specifically with Lightning Time's 5-pointer. Again, kind of like what John was saying about how the 5-pointers have really just upped the game. And then also, thinking back, obviously, Christian made a video about kind of how they decide what constitutes a 5-pointer a little while ago. Put that in the Facebook group. I forget what prompted it. But it was a really interesting, considering that he kind of talks a lot about how a big part of it is contextual clues, because you really see Lightning Time pull that context out of the question. And it kind of shows the best of how they go about writing the 5-pointers and then how they are able to solve them if you know about movies, because you kind of see them just run through their JTE rules remaining, or JT me rules. If JTE were here last, I'm getting myself confused. Just kind of running through it, thinking it over, and then really taking their time. And it really worked for them. And that was the question that could have decided the match. I mean, it literally did, because that was the winning question. So again, I'm getting all turned around, but that's just because this match was so dang good, Soul. And it makes me even more excited to see than Lightning Time, who really took it fully pedal to the metal and eked it out just at the last second, going up against Rushmore, who just had, I mean, obviously, we've only had 2 matches so far in this team's tournament, but a incredibly dominant performance that'll be hard to top.
Yeah,
what a pull by Liz, though. So what a pull by Liz.
And what Colin said before, Ethan Erwin said, beat Rocha twice, happy to do it again.
Yeah.
So Rocha, I want to hear your response.
Yeah. It's all cute. I love cute people. They're very fun. I like to rub their heads when I go into the doll store. But it doesn't lead to victories this year, I'll tell you that right now. He can say all the smack he wants to say. But at the end of the day, once they close the door, it's all of us in that ring going at it. He knows I came real close to beating him last year, closest I've ever come. So I have nothing but confidence that we will have a great match against them. Look, they may beat us. They've got an incredible amount of knowledge between them. Lord knows you TKO Liz. That's kind of an anomaly. So we're going to be walking into, and we TKO'd Preston. So we're going to be, but all I can tell you is this. The Finstock Exchange has been TKOing mother effers all year. We've been taking points off other factions and putting points in our column. We're in second place. Where are all those idiots who are laughing at our draft now? I don't hear Frank Janish saying a word. I don't hear Brad Gilmore saying a word. It's hilarious to me to see that these pundits and supposedly knowledgeable people who made fun of our draft, these idiots who are in the chat half the time, who can't even figure out how to bum gas to get to high school. These are these idiots saying all this crap about us. And look at that. We're in second place. Our rookies are kicking ass. Our veterans are kicking ass. And guess what? We're back on a second round of games for our rooks that have won their matches. So our goal is to pile up the points, because Dungeon is the favorite. They got all the favorable draft picks for themselves. They worked all the moves and all the magic. So they have all the pressure on them. No one expected anything from the Finstock Exchange, and we're in second place, shocking the damn world. It's only May. We got a long way to go, but it's a good place for us to be in. And our rookies are gaining confidence more and more every week, and you love to see it.
Oh, yeah, and I'm so excited to see as well what comes out of this match between Lightning Time and Rushmore. I mean, again, just kind of getting that Ethan Erwin versus John Rocha rivalry. Again, getting to see John Rocha and Liz Shannon Miller tussle once more. It's really, I don't know who the commissioner is right now. I forget. I haven't been caught up on all of my cutscenes, but man, that commissioner is doing a really good job. Do any of you guys know who
do you mean
right now?
That we have been blessed to have the vision of the urban gladiator himself, the Mad Titan, Jay Washington, the commissioner, is here.
damn.
What is
Oh,
happening?
No one told me this. I didn't agree to this.
You don't get any say so whether you agree or not. You just sit back, you or your cowboy hat, keep your blood pressure down, and enjoy the show.
I am enjoying the show because I'm on it.
Okay, that's fine. I just thought about the fact that I got to bless the first show. Like, you guys are the first people to get me on your show. Like, all the other shows have been trying, and it was something about doing this one that I felt this would be great worth doing. It's been interesting watching everything unfold. Would you say that? Hey, Rocha, are you gonna beat Bateman? I mean, you need to beat Bateman.
I've beaten Bateman 2 out of 3 times. What are you talking about?
That's 2 out of 3, but you can still lose one. I just need to know.
Sure, and I can win one too.
I mean, and you can lose it again too. But as the commissioner, I don't care about those things.
It sounds like you care.
What I care about is a great show for everybody.
Damn right.
So, for those who saw, I got to make some beautiful matches, and some. Okay, it's fine. First and foremost, let me just say, in regards to my post in the Schmoedown group, that because VideoDrew was supposed to win, and there was man, listen, I didn't expect Marisol McKee to be, and so that Grace. Okay, everything is fine. Okay, because she's not gonna beat Janine, right? No, please God, no. So yeah, I pray to God that does not happen. Oh Jesus.
So can you pass him some tissues real quick?
Oh no, I don't need to pass me. No, I'm good. I'm good. So if there's any questions, I just wanted to publicly say everything is okay. Okay, everything is fine. It's gonna be okay. I made great matches. You get Erwin versus Oyama. You get Bateman versus an old man, and then the winner of those 2 matches end up playing each other to see who's gonna face Dan Merle and probably lose. I don't know, but I'm having fun with all of this.
This guy, he's got some.
Blink twice. Blink twice if you need help.
Yeah. Well, he can't even blink anymore. Look at him. He's all cried out. He's got no tears left to blink. Let me tell you something right now. You can't call me old man. You got 7 kids who are traveling the country in a rock group, for God's sake. Give me a break, old man, yourself. Listen here. I handle business. Old or young, it doesn't matter.
You just tried to say I was old, and you're around here with a 10-gallon hat on, like you straight out of some Western. Like you straight
I
out
am out of a Western.
Yeah, no, just the west side of San Diego. Anyway, I need you to cut. This is what you
smack. Go ahead.
So listen, this is what we're gonna do, Rocha. We're gonna hope that you all keep progressing as Rushmore through the teams tournament. We're gonna hope on that, right? We're gonna believe in you against Bateman because somebody has to. I know, right? And then we're gonna pray that the Finstock Exchange gets it together. Now, if they do, they do. They don't. Because I have a lot of other. I get to make some great matches. So listen, you should thank me because without me, you don't have this opportunity. So you actually owe me now.
Uh-oh.
I don't owe you a goddamn thing.
You don't? You sure?
I only owe myself and my faction. That's the only thing I owe. And I'm racking up points for them just like they're racking up points for us. I don't owe you a damn thing. Just as the great one once said, know your role and shut your mouth. Just make the matches and get on out of here.
Role? I do know my role. And the fact that you have this match against Bateman, that's something that if you win, you can get something else. Now, you need me to stay in that match, don't you? You
to stay in the match.
Yeah, because for some reason, Ben Bateman could have another opponent if you keep talking. Ben Bateman could be on his path.
Are you threatening to be on the match after I earned? I will sue you. Whatever's left on that wall is one comic book. That's all you're gonna left all the time.
Mr. Outlaw, I don't do threats. I don't do threats. Threats are not good. They're not good for the league. They're not good for our prosperity. So I do not do threats. What I do are promises and guarantees that if you keep talking shit, things will change.
I know you do. That's all that comes out of your mouth.
What I'm saying.
Do. Yeah.
What I'm saying. Listen. All I'm saying is you might want to watch your tone before you end up in a match just with nothing but Star Wars categories. And we'd have to see what you do with that. Now, I would just say, have a great time. Are you click-clacking typing? Are you trying to get to your lawyer and say, hey, somebody help me?
Oh, no, he's watching already. You'll expect something on Monday morning. That's for damn sure.
That's right. I'll start drafting it up as soon as we're done with the show.
Oh, you're his lawyer? You're his lawyer?
I'm mostly familiar with bird law. but I know a little bit about personal law. I'll be able to work some
Okay.
things out, I think.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Soul, do you have any questions for these fine folks?
I just decided to come here and have a little, enjoy some Schmoedown talk, and then the Outlaw decided to go off the deep end.
Oh, once again, playing victim. Get him out of here. I hated him as a manager. I hate him worse as a commissioner. No, it's never his fault. It's always everyone else's. Get him out of here.
You're so angry.
If
Everyone?
Marisol does beat Janine, which no one wants that to happen, but if Marisol does beat Janine,
If it was a fifth, we'd all
are
be
you going to be
drunk.
okay?
Huh?
Are you going to be okay?
If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Now, Marisol beating Janine, that shouldn't happen. PJ, can we talk about this? Because I really, I have a connection with Janine. All right, I have, Janine may be a member of the Stars.
Yeah,
but there's
Janine
still
was
a
4-12 under your management. But yeah, go ahead. You have a connection with Janine. Go ahead.
You've played this game since it was written on paper, and you count that as
I
a
played it
record.
since it was written on stone, bitch, and I got titles.
The only title you have is Social Security recipient. Now, as I was saying,
I'm a legend killer.
I have you're a legend in the aid office. Anyway, what I believe in is I believe that Janine can be profitable and continue on the street. Janine just needs that boost, and Roxy is doing an amazing job. The Stars are looking great. Roxy's doing a great job, and who knows, Roxy may be the one to push Janine farther than I ever could, and I hope so. But I also hope Roxy pushes Janine to knock Marisol out, because I kind of really need that to happen. Hey, Grace, if you're watching.
Why are you a commissioner and choosing which player you want? You should have no dogs in the fight. A commissioner is supposed to be impartial. You don't see Roger Goodell trying to fix the NFL for Tom Brady, for God's sakes. What kind of a commissioner are you?
What game have you been watching?
Hold up.
What game have you been watching?
Hold up.
Oh, you guys gonna start crying about the refs? Give me a break.
No, I'm
Greatness
talking about
is
some
greatness.
balls. I inflated a football today.
Balls. Like, I don't know.
Wow. If I could deflate trivia questions, I would, if it meant a victory.
I mean, yeah,
Go
they
ahead.
all could be who starred in this movie, and that'd be easy for you. Now, what we're gonna say is,
What would
again,
you know,
I have-
non-player? Yeah, go
Hey,
ahead. Yeah.
listen.
Did you even win the black? Did you win the black cinema match?
I lost one, but I've also won. I've also won one and
It's a bit
lost one.
personal.
So
Give me your black card. Go ahead. Anyway.
you could never have that. I lost it in the final round, the final question, because also I was exhausted because I have a real career unlike you, Rocha.
Oh, commercial. Oh my God! Please, a real career.
Okay,
Telling
Outlaw.
jokes in between
Hey,
bouncing at the
Outlaw.
same club is not a career. Go ahead.
Outlaw, listen. The only thing illegal about you is your attempt to be the greatest Schmoedown player ever. Now, I'm saying this as an impartial commissioner.
I don't
I
want
think
to.
I think you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Okay, with this show. I think no one said that to you, Rocha. That was to the four hosts of the show.
This is correct.
Uh-huh.
I don't have. Here's the thing. I've never ever said I was an Excel and a savant at movie trivia. I've always said I know what I know, but guess what else I know? I'm the commissioner now, and it's beautiful.
Get
Good
him out
job,
of here.
TJ. You're good. You're
I
good.
gotta go in 10 minutes, so get him out of here.
All right. So listen, I just wanted to drop by. If you guys got any questions for me, please feel free to let them have it. Come on. I'm
Boggs,
Go,
what you
go,
got?
go.
I know
God,
Boggs
I
has
asked my
one.
question.
I know Boggs has one. Go ahead, bud.
Oh,
cool.
well, never mind. I was about to say, if you want to be like the commissioner of the Schmoedown and come on and talk about balls, I guess, you can be a patron supporter of John Rocha following the link up above, or donate via Streamlabs / The Ultimate Schmoedown Show. That's not our name anymore, but that's okay. Soul, I think you have a couple of those questions on hand, don't you? I'm desperately laying down rails. I'm doing the best that I can, gang.
All right, we got from Chris Taylor going, what were your first thoughts when Harloff said the Schmoedown was going to a faction team format?
Oh, are they asking me this question? Or are you asking me this question?
Rocha.
I wasn't happy with it initially because I loved my horsemen. I loved to ride with my horsemen. But, we kind of figured it out, put it together. I saw what great faction we could create last year. And we worked hard to be those guys standing on the stage at the end of the year, holding all the belts so we could control our destiny going into the next year. And we had that thing. And they just kind of blew it down the end of the year last year, and we couldn't get the job done for the faction championship. So after learning all those lessons, I was even more excited to be part of a faction this year. Send a barbarian out there to scout the best. We interviewed the best. and then draft them onto our team, and they are already paying dividends. So I am loving the faction situation here this year for sure.
And then we have a question from Drunken Prayer going, what was the decision-making process to leave the promo versus the press room to just JTE? Because we were a little surprised there. No Outlaw in the promo.
Listen, I've delivered you guys enough promos to last you a lifetime. Some of the greats. True. You saw the joke of a commissioner with his crappy promos. It's the same thing every time. Deal with it and nothing. 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 7 years of the same crap from that commissioner every time he was a manager. So I didn't want to do another promo. Didn't need to. It was a first-round match. As I said, JT's the one coming back to play. Let him carry the heavy load a little bit, get back into the rhythm of things. So I was very happy to let JT do his thing, and he killed it in that promo. You didn't need to hear from me. I did my talking in the ring during the match, before the match, and after the match.
Facts. And I think we have some patrons to come in to talk to you. So
make it quick. Let's go.
Who's the first one, Colin?
Oh, you know who it is. Get Ryko in here. Come on.
Hey, John.
Booty.
Hey.
How's Canada?
Where's Canada? It's above your head, man.
How's Canada, man?
Oh, Canada's great. They let me stay, even though I messed up.
Yeah.
I'll never live down. That's my best man, John. That's my best man.
Oh, Jesus.
But John,
I won 4 titles after Bestman. What'd you do after that Man of Steel question?
I'm
not a goddamn thing.
I'm
now,
young.
go ahead.
I've got time.
What's your question?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to praise you. If you shut up, I can actually praise you for a little bit. All right. So,
make it
John,
quick.
I will. John, everybody says how Snyder is the best teams player. But no, hold on. But here's the thing. You've already won 2 belts with 2 different teams. And my prediction is you're going to win a 3rd belt with a 3rd team. All right. So honestly, you should be in that conversation. But I want a little bit of shoot from you. I don't want you talking trash about your old teams. But what are the main differences between the 3 teams you're on? Like just tell me what are there strengths or weaknesses, or what's the biggest differences between the?
Here's the biggest difference. Matt Nost was the perfect tag team player or tag teammate for that time of the Schmoedown. Dan Murrow was the perfect tag teammate for me for that period of the Schmoedown, and JT is the perfect tag teammate for me for this period of the Schmoedown. The differences in knowledge are always negligible because all 3 of them are intelligent, or I wouldn't have taken 2 of them to belts, and I'm working on taking a 3rd one to a belt. So to me, they're all incredible players. They are all worth their salt because we won titles, and now I'm looking to take a 3rd one to a title. So that's the difference there for all 3 of them.
So it's just the right person for the right time.
Exactly. Like always.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
you,
good
Ryko.
luck, 'cause I think you're going to take it, man.
We'll see, brother. We have
Thanks,
a long way to
Ryko.
go.
Appreciate
Only
you,
been
buddy.
One match.
All right. Next up, Drunken Prayer.
Rocha, my man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice hat. Nice
I like
hat.
that.
I like it. That's right.
Just gonna ask one quick question.
All right.
If you and JTA win this season,
Yeah.
you're going to retire with all the belts. When you win singles, when you win teams, when you win IG,
Yeah.
is
Well,
he all
listen.
going to retire with every belt on his fucking shoulder.
Star Wars belt, the Disney belt. They wouldn't let me into the horror free for all because they were afraid I'd whip their new little boy Collins. Let me tell you something.
Damn right.
Absolutely. You never say never. You don't know what's going to happen. In my mind, I could retire at the end of the year. I could keep going for the next 20 years. I don't know. Everything's wide open. JT and the Finstock exchange have absolutely changed my mind about this game so much. I'm reborn, and I love it.
Damn right, man. Train up those
That's right.
rookies. Get that new faction on the go.
Thanks,
They
Drunken
may
Prayer.
take-
Appreciate you, buddy.
They may take my life, but they'll never take my belts. Thank you.
We got your faction mate Jeffrey Kahn in the chat going, no, because he's not like Sam Levine who retires with the belts.
Well said, King Khan. Well said. Well said.
Next
Did you
up.
see Khan?
Oh.
Did you see Khan whip the crap out of Flickinger?
We did.
Has anyone seen Flickinger ever since? Incredible. You might have retired him after one match.
Hey, who's next, Colin?
Next up, we have, this is the Outlaw Nation, but sometimes it's Brennan Nation. Brennan, welcome in, sir. How are you?
No, it's all the Outlaw Nation. John is
That's
the
right.
best.
That's right. Well said, Brennan.
Brennan is like a state within the Outlaw Nation.
What
He's
is
got
the
a
deal-
county. He's got a county.
Sir,
Right.
what is the deal with that Jay Washington?
Ask his parents.
Thinks he's so high and mighty.
Of course.
So, if you were to compete in a Star Wars match,
I should hire him to bounce at my next Schmoedown match. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Brendan.
Who would you be your ideal opponent in a Star Wars match?
In a Star Wars match? Well, after Alex Damon choked it away, I don't know. I guess it would have to be Andrew DiMolanta at this point or Mark Hamill. I would whip that one-handed fool to pieces. I tell you that right now. I would whip Mark Hamill to pieces.
You probably would. He's not that good at Star Wars trivia.
Thank you.
You should play his son. I think his son would be a better
Nathan Hamill? I'll
Nathan,
play
that'd be
Nathan
fun.
Hamill.
That'd be pretty good. That's a plausible get for the Schmoedown too.
If I beat Nathan Hamill in a Star Wars match, he has to surrender all his Young Guns 2 memorabilia, and I get to set it on fire because that's a crap movie.
I'm
And
in.
it would be
Emilio
amazing.
Estevez would show up though.
It would be amazing if you won with Preston.
Yeah, I would have to
Hamill,
retire.
a real guy?
If I won a Star Wars match with a Bestman question, I'd have to
Yes,
retire.
John. Mark actually had a son, and his name is Nathan Hamill.
Nathan Hamill, yeah. Good guy. Very nice guy.
But
Brennan.
look out for you.
We
Thanks,
love you,
Brennan.
bud. Thanks, bud.
Oh yeah.
Bye, Brennan.
May the force be.
All right. You too, brother.
Also with you.
I got 3 minutes. Let's go.
Last question. We got Aaron. Come on down, sir. What you got?
Costa!
Hey, everybody. So, I'm glad I'm just really, really fucking pissed off right now. It's been a bad goddamn day, but I'm
Tell
so glad I get to talk with you. John, you guys played fucking excellent. So I'm going to get the nice things out of the way. Aaron's going to be here for just a second. Perri did a great job. Not in the first round, but the fact that she can get over herself and do great in the second and third round. Sadly, they just didn't make it. They are a team to be feared. Okay, now that's out of the way. C3 motherfucking PD is fucking in the house now. So listen here. Why is everyone gonna have a goddamn ribbon in this fucking game? But they did so good. Okay, fine, they did good. It was 27-9. Why is no one talking about Rushmore? Those motherfuckers' heads are not up in South Dakota for any fucking reason. They are there to fucking stay. You missed one question, John. One fucking question. You could have easily just gotten something else too. You could have easily gotten a perfect round too. You played a great goddamn fucking game. Great game. And anyone who said this is 2 TKOs John has done now. All you haters, where's the camera? Shut the fuck up. Shut up about that. And that one person that just put a dislike in the YouTube channel, go fuck yourself. As soon as someone said, can you hit a like for it? I saw you. You put a dislike. Go fuck yourself, man. Not on the Outlaw Nation. We are here to fucking stay. Yeah, the Outlaw's here to fucking stay. He will get a belt. I don't know which one, but he will get a belt by the end of this season. Guaranteed. Thank you very much.
I love you, Aaron.
Easy one.
I love you.
I'm not doing
I need a
promos anymore.
Xanax.
I'm just going to have Aaron do all my promos, for God's sake.
Can I get a Xanax?
That's fantastic.
His
That
butcher
is
died.
fantastic. He said it right. He said everything right.
That was a
Everyone-
Kleister bomb. Oh my God.
everybody just feels bad for Press Room, and they like Josh Horowitz, and they like Perri Nemiroff. We made mincemeat of them. And I love Coy as a manager. You got to love a manager that does more work defending his team than managing his team. I saw him talking that smack in that post-match interview. What a hilarious thing for him to say. Coy, talk your mess, son. It doesn't matter. We whooped your team. 27-9 was the score at one point. Then we TKO'd them. So please, yes, they did a nice job staying in the match, but in the end, they couldn't get the job done in the third round. We handled it, and we move on. But I think we're going to be hearing from the press room again. That's for sure. Don't count that tag team out. I think Perri, no offense to Haley Fouch, I think Josh Horowitz is a better match for Perry's style of play. And I think Perri now saw what fire Josh brings to the game. And so she's going to elevate her game to play alongside him. I look forward to that. Coy, take advantage of that, nurture that, and get that going, for God's sakes.
Definitely
Well-
just need some game tape for sure. That to me was the thing. Like for Coy as a manager, just needed to see what talent he had on the field. I look forward to see what Horowitz brings going forward. And of course, we know Perry's a baller. Everybody knows. Rocha, I need you to bottle up that energy from your man.
Yeah.
And I need you to lay down the sickest, baddest promo this league has ever seen. Sir, take it away.
Listen, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I am one of the greats that ever walked through the doors of the Schmoedown. In fact, I am the greatest of all time. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 times after that. Every time you count me out, every time you think the Outlaw is done, he steps up to the plate. He readjusts his study technique, and he's back in the mix for belts. Here I am again, right? We won that first round. We're going to see how we do against Lightning Time. I took care of business against Liz, got that TKO. Now I'm moving on to the second against Ben Bateman, and we're going to see what happens against Ben Bateman if I can handle the pressure and take him out. We shall see. Maybe he's got a new song to compose or whatever. We'll see how he does there. But I'm going to handle the business when the time comes. And Dan Merle after that, or Paul Oyam or Ethan or whoever it is, after that, then it's you and me, Dan Merle, for the belt. So get ready for that, son. It's happening. And get ready for the Finstock exchange. We're winning matches all over the place. TKO in the world. TKO in the world. At some point, they're going to have to start calling us, as I said in the post-match interview, the Finstock TKO exchange, or the Finns TKO exchange, because that's what we're doing. So let them all make the jokes. I don't care. I don't care. I am a warrior. I am a fighter, and I am a winner. And every time you knock me the fuck down, I get the fuck back up and win matches and go for belts. So last year was a tough year, and already you can tell that I've learned the lessons and I've come out guns blazing for this match.
Somebody call Nerd Chronic, because I got your next promo for your next match, sir. It has been an absolute pleasure having you, sir, and thank you so much for letting these four crazy people grace the airways of your YouTube channel.
I love you guys. Love what you're doing, and keep doing all the great stuff that you're doing. Proud to have you on the channel. Much love to all four of you. Oh, there's a little something from the old days. Love you guys. Peace.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Guys, that's us. We're the four horsemen, man, you know? Horse people. No, that's sorry to bother you. My bad. Anybody that's not sorry to bother you, I'm sorry.
I don't need a sorry to bother you moment. I'm down with just being a horseman. I can
sorry
be a
to bother you all, but I think we have some more matches and maybe some more guests to get to, huh?
Oh, yeah. We got a guest.
This is my job on the show now.
Oh, John, you, sir, are like that little piece in remember that water game where you got to get the water from the top of the screen down to the bottom? You, sir, are that corner piece that sends us home. And right now, we got one of the brightest players when it comes to, I would just love to watch their brain work while it played. We got the spider himself, Robert Parker. Come on down, sir. Welcome into the Ultimate Schmoedown After Show, repping the dungeon. And
Hello.
Sir, might I say, your beard is the greatest addition to the 2021 season.
It's certainly my greatest accomplishment so far this year. I agree with that. It's the right lighting. When it hits right, you just gotta. It takes some time to set up, but I'm proud of it when you get it right. Thank you guys for having me on. This has been a great show so far. I don't know what I missed earlier, but I saw a piece of it, and sparks were flying.
Indeed, sparks were flying, and we are happy to have you. I know. I know Boggs is just raring to get into this Innergeekdom match because this was on our calendars from the second it was announced. Was it not, Boggs?
Yeah, of course. The return of Parker, really. That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
So after, that, you didn't play for nearly a year, right?
Almost, yeah. As far as I don't know
July,
about,
right?
I don't remember when. Hey, I like that guy too. I don't know when the chance match aired because I still haven't watched it. So I don't know. I think just sometime last summer.
I gotta save face. It was my anniversary weekend with my girlfriend. It was
it?
July. It was July, so it was pretty close. That's a long time for someone of your caliber to not be around.
Right.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend too.
Humble brag.
She's watching, Boggs. John. She's literally right there on the other side of the wall.
She's in Canada, wherever Superman's ship landed. Let's keep talking.
Probably 9 to 10 months from the shots from the taping days. So yeah, it had been a while. I was nervous myself about any ring rust, but I was lucky enough that wasn't there.
Yeah, as you said, what Kaiser said, actually, you've been waiting to cut someone up or carve someone up. So obviously you must have been doing tons and tons of studying, your factions, so stacked this year.
Yeah.
I just want to ask though, Robert, before we get into the match, before going in to the match, did you feel the pressure? Because, probably last season you were obviously drafted really high, one of the most hyped up rookies we've ever seen. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, you did win a couple, but you come and stuck against chance. So how would you feel? I know it was a long time to wait. A lot happened. You didn't get to play. and all that. So just overall thoughts going into the match. Did you feel the pressure? Was it a must win?
Yeah, I definitely thought this was a must-win, especially just because, we have the IG champion and the amazing Mara Kanopik, and I knew that the tournament season, if and when it comes in IG, is going to be a little bit later this season than it was last year. By last year, we were starting tournament matches by this time. So I knew that if I didn't, I knew that if I didn't beat Hanna, I probably wouldn't get another match until the tournament, and I wanted to make sure that I was, I hit the ground running, right? I wanted to come out swinging. So, and the pressure.
Yeah, well, you couldn't tell in the first round because, you guys both going perfect, 11 each. So I'll throw it back to Colin. What your thoughts? First round, obviously, both going perfect. Big rounds expected, and they delivered, Colin.
Sure.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Someone get the
one
soapbox
person
out.
got 11 points right, and the other person got 8 points right.
I forgot.
And Soul, I'll throw it to you. Colin's not gonna say anything.
You stay out this one, Colin. Actually, that's a good show. You stay out this one. So go ahead, Soul.
I was gonna say Parker was correct that Tortuga is Spanish, Tortuga is turtle.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck a Tortuga is. Like, that's not a word in Spanish.
I have no idea if it's true, but I read somewhere that it's the same word, but in Portuguese. I have no idea if that's true. I don't speak Portuguese. I don't speak Spanish either. But for some reason, I read somewhere that Tortuga is Portuguese for turtle instead. So maybe he was
maybe.
I'm not a
But I think too, where you had the earlier question, and it makes sense that you guys were like, okay, we're not going to challenge. We're not going to waste a challenge if they already ruled it the other way. I think if it's a actor, the benefit of the doubt rule works really well. We saw I know on the Idris Elba, we've seen that before. Right. You knew Idris Elba. It's one letter. But we've seen before too. Ninko.
Right.
We saw that be win a match. And they're not... They're knocking outside my door. Sorry, guys.
Don't worry about it. Yeah,
and I think that's the conversation you got to have, because we have to. You have to then acknowledge, somebody officially would then have to come in and say, is the Ninko whatever, is that ruling? Is that ruling in 2021 different? If they say yes, and you give them the benefit of the doubt, and then suddenly that the ending of that match has changed and Schmoedown history has changed, if that's the world we're living in, then we kind of just have to live in it, and that's the world I'm kind of having a hard time of adjusting to.
It's a bit of a slippery slope. But also, I mean, they did say that at the start of this season, all precedents for challenges are truncated. So, I don't know. So I'm with you, Colin, but I do think that there's a little bit more leniency as far as like looking into past year's challenges, just because it was a different situation. There was no actual rule book. There were no rules to quote. So precedents at the start of this year were kind of thrown out the window. So I agree. I think those are very similar situations where the one vowel was off at a different point in the word, and it was also like a plot specific question. There are a lot of similarities there. But as far as that being a precedent you can quote, you can't really quote past year's precedents anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, the other question. What was the other one that there was discrepancy over?
The Rowdy McDowell one.
Yeah,
Rowdy and Roddy.
Right, the actor's Roddy McDowell, and Rowdy was the answer put down.
Yeah, and I think the way it went in that one, where they marked it wrong, you have them make a challenge to be like, no, let's use the benefit of the doubt rule. I don't like the fact that with the other one, they gave it to him right away. They should have done the same thing. The precedent just earlier in the match is mark it wrong and make them have to do the challenge, not make you, the person who got the question right, have to make a challenge when you just saw earlier they gave it. Why waste a challenge?
Right. Yeah, it's interesting, and it was just so strange that those two were exactly back to back, and there was a lot of weirdness going on. But you're right. Like, I mean, people from both sides have made challenges before. Like, people who got the question right have made challenges. The person who's gotten it wrong have made challenges. So there's definitely precedent for a challenge being thrown there. Kaiser and I just really felt like it wasn't going to go our way, and we weren't going to use it just to waste time or to try to put anybody on tilt or anything like that. We just didn't think it was worth it. We just wanted to get back to answering questions.
Yeah, and speaking of things that went your way, round 2, huh, Boggs?
Yeah, exactly. Let's not dwell on it. I'm sure it didn't actually make a difference to the overall impact of the match. Plus, I'm bored. I'm sure you're probably bored of speaking about it. So we'll just move on.
Well, I don't know. I think it's an important conversation to have. I just don't know how much more there is to say. I think that's all.
Yeah, true.
It's admitting that it's the transition. It's that whole
right.
It's I don't want to have to ask myself questions of like, well, is Nika or Nico would have been the thing? It's just like we have to, and we just have to live in the world we're in now.
Right.
Different world.
Speaking of Ninka, obviously Hannah's stuck on Star Wars, spawned off Marvel and then landed on Star Wars. Bit of a rough round, so he's only picked up 5 points. He's had to get multiple choice, and he's missed a few as well. Obviously, Robert's picked up them steals. I wonder, Robert, did you know them off the bat? I mean, would you need multiple choice off them, or because for me, I mean, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't the hardest Star Wars question I've ever heard in my life. So maybe because we're all Star Wars fans here, but I was a bit surprised that he missed quite a few there. So I just want to know, did you know like the Ty Silencer one or?
I actually that one specifically, there's like a very short story about is I in preparation for we have a very deep Star Wars bench in the dungeon as far as Hoey, Wit, and Molly, who are just 3 of the best, and those 3 and Mara and I spent some time studying together when we're trying to prep one of them for a match. So I've done quite a bit of just based like. Just kind of being associated, just being in those study sessions, even if I'm not being the one asked the questions, just sort of like soaking in the Star Wars knowledge a little bit. Like I'm not saying I could go and win a belt in the Star Wars division or anything, but I've gathered a lot of Star Wars information. So that one I actually did know, because there was one study session where I remember I don't remember who it was, but one of the 3 of them asked one of the other 3 that exact question, and they got it right. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I never knew that. So I did know that one for 2. Both of the steals I knew for 2. But I think he played it smart by checking to multiple when he did, including even on the wicket question. Like that's deceptive a little bit. The way that's worded, it's a little bit tricky. So I respect him. He's a very smart Star Wars player. He's a huge Star Wars fan, one of the biggest Star Wars fans of any Innergeekdom player. That category just hasn't been good to him in trivia. He's missed 5-pointers in Star Wars that have lost in matches, and now obviously we see like he does well with the category, and he's a huge Star Wars fan. Just the trivia in that category is so deep now. It's just it's a tough category.
Yeah, it is definitely. So, Colin, what do you think of his round 2?
I mean, you know me, I got him right, but it was to me the moment in the match where he doubted himself, because it seemed like everything was going like, even though it was kind of like when he got those, it made me feel like I was watching basketball, and when somebody shoots a 3 and then it like bounces around the rim and then it goes in, was kind of like his 2 misses in round 1, but they went in eventually. Right. And then round 2 came around, and the game finally gave him what it was trying to give him in round 1, was like, you're not quite ready for this level of competition. And so I think Parker's kind of at just that level up. Like Parker and Chance, to me, it's boop, 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 and Mike, I can't even, and Mara, like the 4 of you, no one should want to play, and they should level themselves off of what you do. The way y'all handle yourselves, the way your brains work, are exactly how Innergeekdom works. You guys tie in your knowledge well, and I think I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was the shift from whatever he was doing last year to whatever he was doing this year for Hanna, switching factions. It was just something felt like he was trying to figure it out, and you were the same dude we saw the last time we saw you, and you were raring to go.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was the goal, to hit the ground running. I will say for Hanna, though, I actually think, even though the stats in the win-loss column may not show it, I think in his last 2 matches, he's been a better Schmoedown player than in any 2 matches he's played previously. The accuracy or the one win, one loss doesn't really. It matters, but like as far as improvement and playing the game and keeping your head in the game, especially, I mean, that guy, we've seen him in some of the earlier Chandru matches and stuff like that, get a little bit rattled, and I don't think he did at all, especially against Zipper. That's a position that not a lot of people envy. Going into the last round down, I think it was 6. or something like that. And he stayed zen, he stayed focused, he clawed and fought his way back. And so just as far as a gamesmanship and really the mental fortitude that it takes, I thought he's off the charts in the last 2 matches. And I think a lot of that has to do with Roxy, honestly, and has to do with the faction supporting him. Last year, moving away from the Den to I think he moved to the Droogs, and then he was just sort of managerless and factionless for a while. And I think is sort of hitting the reset button on who he surrounds himself with, I think was very beneficial for him. And I think he's going to come back with a vengeance in the tournament if that comes around.
It's like Baron Zemo, a man without a nation.
Right.
And then, you've gone obviously perfect for Yorgo, sticking with Planet of the Apes, and people are flying through this category as well. So nice to see. Obviously, we've got a nice healthy lead there, 23-16, going into the third. Roxy's tried her kind of call to action team talk. Obviously, kind of didn't work in the end. He's hit his 2, the Harley Quinn, who played Harley Quinn in the Lego Batman movie, and then he's missed his 2 and he's missed his 3 and his 5, and obviously being TKO'd. So. Overall thoughts on the match, Robert? His third round. Did you know any of his questions?
I did. I never knew the Jean-Claude Van Damme portion. I had no idea about that. Kaiser and he talked to me about it later because that's just more his era than mine. But I did know the Kevin Peter Hall actor. And then I am a silent supporter of Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I actually like that movie quite a bit. So I knew that one as well. And I think he did too. I just think I think if he had a second guess, that would have been his second guess, or he for sure would have gotten it on multiple. But just in that exact moment, just slipped his mind. There are those questions. I think Rocha was kind of talking about them earlier, where the answer is just right there in front of you, just can't quite maneuver your way exactly to it in the time allotted. If he had 30 seconds, a minute to get there, he definitely would have. But there are just some questions that are tricky like that. So I think that tripped him up a little bit. But overall, he played well. Just missed those couple in that last round, and I was very, very happy to bring the dungeon home another win. I think we're in a good shape this season.
Yeah, starting off your revenge tour well. So, John, any thoughts on this match? Obviously, I know you went, you had to drop off for a bit there, but obviously we're going to fly through some other matches before we get some patrons in to speak to Robert. But, John, any thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of very quickly and succinctly say my thoughts, I think Robert was right on the money when he said there's a big element to Brandon Hanna's game as far as being wanted. Obviously, having gone from a pretty good debut to then getting a lot of chips on his shoulder, accumulating just from his Chandru losses, getting traded around, and then just the manager shenanigans that happened in the Burning Droogs, a lot of stuff that was kind of out of his control. Some of it it just kind of made him very standoffish. And now we're definitely seeing the best that he can be and why a lot of this faction stuff works as far as just in the way that it's helped him focus, have somebody in his corner that really helps hype him up. I think it was a great performance by Brandon Hanna, all things considered. But this was the Robert Parker that we all knew we were going to have to stare down someday. This is the guy that we had nightmares in high school about. One day we're just changing in the locker room. Suddenly we close our locker and it's that cinematic shot where it's you close it and then right behind where the door was, there's Robert Parker with a baseball bat. This was just that moment, and exactly. And look, we're always very nice to people on the show for the most part. We love Brandon Hanna. We think he's a good guy. Colin might not think so. I think so, but he's not Robert Parker, and that's all that mattered.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words.
So just Robert, we're going to break down the pay-per-view now. So we're going to start with actually the IG match. So we'll get your thoughts on it as well. But, go ahead, Colin.
Yeah, I thought this match was. This is the Titans, folks. This is, to me, I put a lot of money, fake money, into my.
We've heard.
Into my fake. Alex Damon will get double belted someday fund. All right. I put a lot of money in that stock. I had really good odds last year. It was great. I caught him in June. It was really good. And I'm still sitting on it. And it's not doing so hot right now, guys. It's not doing so hot because the KO killer is back. And I'm happy we have Robert here because this is the new school. Okay. Parker packing cigarettes with the pack roll with this. See, I can see that. I mean, you can see you got the guns to show over there. KO's back. And this is the new school integrated into the old school because he has chance to prepare him for whatever he needs to do in IG. Parker, I just need your overall thoughts or your impressions of Mike Kalinowski's glorious return to the IG division.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's always been great. He's always in that discussion of top tier IG talent. He always will be as long as he plays. Very strong player. That being said, I think he had a great round one. Pretty the round one questions, like the difficulty and stuff, have been pretty on par across the IG division this year. So I wasn't super surprised to see the perfect round from him. I was interested to see how he did with Who Said It, because that normally is a pretty big scare category anytime it's on the wheel for IG. Not because we don't watch the movies and don't know quotes. It's just a tough category as compared, and it can come from anywhere. Most of those quotes were from IG movies that were already in IG. They weren't new from new categories, which I think that leaves something to be said, right? He did very well with the IG questions in round one from the new categories. But I think he has yet to sort of be tested. I mean, it's only been one match, and myself included. I have yet to be tested against a lot of the new categories too. Everybody has, really. Most anybody's played with them is one match. But right. I think, is there a potential that there are some weaknesses with new categories that might get exposed when he plays Mara? I think that's absolutely possible. I know I'm helping Mara get as prepared as she can be, and she's beat him once, and she can absolutely do it again. I think she's a much stronger player even now than she was then. I think he has improved as well. So I'm interested to see them go head to head. And yeah, Mike's great. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with some more deep cuts from the new categories.
Yeah, and Boggs, I'm gonna throw this over to you when we're talking about round one. I mean, Damon, it's just a couple of those misses where it's like it makes me take a step back and say, he's on that Brandon Hanna level and not Parker Kalinowski chance in Mara. Like, there's just the next level up, right? I think I'm kind of coming back to reality. I think I've had my reality check.
I think this was a scary wheel for him too. That he actually has kind of disguised strengths in IG, including new categories and old. He's one of those players that we haven't really figured out yet as far as sort of a tier ranking of strengths and weaknesses in IG. But it was just a strange wheel for him, I think. With a different category, I think it's a much more competitive match. And I agree with you. I think he's fantastic. Do I think he could play for the belt? Absolutely. And I'm excited to see that day come if it does.
Yeah, and Boggs, we talked about this. It's the mental thing for Alex. It's how his brain works. So, Boggs, I pose this question to you. Should Alex take a step back from the Innergeekdom? And this is Star Wars, because there's now Innergeekdom before a bit more manageable for the casual fan who've seen all the movies and can go back. Now that we've added all of these other things that you now have to know as intimately as he knows Star Wars, has this dream now come back and it's all, not a dream?
I'd say no. So I'd say he's very much a welcome competitor in IG. What I will say is I do kind of agree with your first point though. So I think pretty much anyone could be anyone bar the top 4/5. So but by top 4-5, I mean Mara, Chandru, Mike, Chance, and I'll probably put Robert in there as well. That five. Them five are the top five. The rest.
You can leave me out. It's okay. Pretend like I'm not here.
I probably wouldn't say that if you're here. I'll be honest. So, but no,
you're good.
I'm just playing. No, but like everyone else can beat each other. It's just them top. They're the kind of cream of the crop. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to anyone who kind of loses them. I don't think there's any shame in it. It's just kind of that's the game. They're the kind of top end players, and that's why they're kind of playing for the title and win tournaments and things like that. So yeah, no kind of nothing wrong with that. So he just kind of found his place somewhere in the top 10, and he's kind of trying to climb up that ladder. So that's fair enough. So, but Robert, quick question for you though, in terms of so obviously, like you said, you're studying with Mara.
Yeah.
But, well, before I say that, I just got to give a shout out to Kalinowski. So I used to do it enough times last year. But, last season, throughout the years watching the Schmoedown, like, I've told the guys here, like, it comes on 4-5 o'clock in the morning here. The amount of times that I have, it has to be worth it for me. It has to be like edge of my seat match. It has to be entertaining, the promos, the cutscenes. The amount of times I've stayed up to watch that man Kalinowski and the amount of entertainment he's given us, particularly someone like me, like over the years through late nights and stuff. So he's made it worth it. So absolute shout out to him. Awesome to see the guy back. and still holding it down with 10 wins in IG. Some people can't get one. You know, this guy's on 10 wins, belts, and everything. So yeah, the guy's definitely awesome. But yeah, you know, going into that title match. So in fact, going to my top 5 list there, Parker, where do you? So let's just take Mara out because you know she's a champion, your faction mate. If you were to play any of them tomorrow, let's say Chandru, Chance, Mike, do you think you can beat all them 3 tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. I was a little cocky, but when I came in last year, I said that, you know, on the day if I walked into studio that first day, I said that I would play every single person who's ever played in IG one at a time in a row, and I would beat every single one of them. Which was some of that was for the show, some of it was a little bit serious, but I think I can beat everybody and anybody. And I think if you don't have if you don't have that attitude, if you don't believe in yourself like that, I think you're not going to succeed. I think you need to have that confidence that you have the capability, that you have what it takes to beat anybody on any day. And I do believe that I have that. I think all of them are great players. All of them would be close matches. But yeah, I think I have what it takes to beat everybody there.
Awesome, man. Can't wait to see it. But yeah, round 2, Colin.
Yeah, round 2. I mean, let's just... Guys, Mike is scary, okay? That's the thing I get from this, is that Mike scares me more than most competitors in IG because he's kind of got this, and I mean this respectfully, he is the elder statesman and when it comes to Innergeekdom. He has lived through more of these movies than most of the other competitors in this division, and there is something about that is not really discussed, him and Mara, and that is what Mara in this new division, that is one of her strengths going into that match with Chandru that we did not take into account at all, was that her base knowledge of the new categories would outweigh his, and who knew how those would come into play. We knew. So I could tell because the way y'all know, how do y'all make me want to go watch all of these Apes movies and know them like I know Star Wars, because I feel like just insufficient now when it comes to it. And Alex just did not have his mojo in round 2. Yeah. He spins on animated, and he spins off of, doesn't spin off of animated, has to stick with animated, and just doesn't quite ever feel comfortable. Mike, of course, starts putting in his shots throughout it, and after Mike does so well, Alex he gets the Star Wars question at the end, and it's like, oh, thank God I got the Star Wars question, right, John? Like, it just like that kind of felt like most of the vibe was like, oh, can I just get it? Can I catch a freaking bone here?
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like you were very quick to pull your money out of Alex Damon stock and put it into some corruption NFTs, man. This was like, I think, again, we got to consider this is a largely like Alex Damon's strengthless wheel and strengthless game. And this was a much better performance than his last time around with Kalinowski.
Also, out of the 5 questions, didn't he get 4 for 2 points, or 3 of them for 2 points? He actually he had a very decent round with IG.
It just didn't feel it. Is the energy of the room? It's
the confidence may not have been there.
Right, because he starts out soft after Mike comes out so hot, and he just does so well, and then he's like, oh, I got to go to animated, and of course. It's, you know.
I think it was more calm though. That like my viewpoint of it, it seems like, okay, I'm in animation. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's not Star Wars. It's not Star Trek. I'm just gonna like calmly answer my questions, and you have to respect calmly answered correct questions.
I think that's what the Stars players are doing this season, is just being zen. They're not being over the top. They're not being all super showy. Not just in IG, right? Like we saw Snyder against Merle, and he was like one of the more calm Snyders that I've seen. And the same goes for when Hanna played myself, and when Damon played Dimolanta, and when Damon now played Kalinowski. I think that's just something that's a mentality, it seems to me, that's sort of across the board on the Stars. Janine against Jader, same thing. It's just, maybe that's just the way that those players have decided to carry on their season, and it's working sometimes,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it kept Damon from getting TKO'd because he managed to get both the Casey Jones question and the I Frankenstein question, which I've seen probably about a third of that movie. I certainly wouldn't have gotten that right. But then you just Yeah, thank God. It's, I've seen CW shows. I know how that goes.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, then you just go up against Kalinowski, who's just been in this division specifically for so long, who's just got years and years of the knowledge base. To me, that was it more than, Alex looking for something that he was more comfortable in. To me, this was a match where it was like, no, Alex proves that he does know Innergeekdom stuff, and he does belong in this division. He's just not ready for the title. And, that's fair. A lot of people aren't ready for titles. I couldn't win any belt any day. You could take my own actual belt off of me by asking me a math question, and then that's it. I'm done. But yeah, I mean, Robert, kind of looking at this, considering that we only see kind of like Alex Damon growing stronger and stronger in Innergeekdom, considering that we're seeing, Mike Kalinowski, who appears to be back in just like regular form. I mean, are there either of these guys that you would be most afraid to see by the time this season is done?
I'm excited to hopefully play Kalinowski if I can. I don't know if that's necessarily in the cards right now. I think I'm sort of on a different path right now from him. It depends what happens. He obviously has Mara next, and I am all aboard the Mara hype train. I will hype her up as much as I possibly can. She's incredible and a super smart player. You're talking about the ways that certain Innergeekdom players' brains just work. Her and I actually have like relatively different study methods and different, things that we pick up on. Our brains work actually quite differently, but introducing that style of studying and that style of trivia knowledge to each other, I think has benefited us both very, very much. Like tonight, I'm getting on a call after this to go hang out with her, but yeah, I think she's ready for Kalinowski. I would love the chance to play him because I haven't, and I think that would be a very, very much a new school, old school kind of thing. As much as I'm so excited to see Mara and Kalinowski, which is, an old rivalry, rekindled. I think me versus Mike would be fun, and Damon's great too. I think he's just an excellent person, and I would love to be sitting across the table from him. But I think I'd be more excited for the opportunity to play Kalinowski.
Absolutely. Well, and speaking of excellent people, you're one of them, Robert. Dang gummit. And we also have some excellent, wonderful people, Soul, that have sent in some questions and some Streamlabs, which, hey, if you're still watching right now, check out the links above all of our heads. You could be one of those people, too. But Soul, run us through the people that have already sent in their questions.
All right, we got from Tushka Inquisitions. I guess he's changing his name this time. Goes, for the Spider, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What would you put on the wheel against John Rocha? Asking for a friend.
If I was playing Rocha in like a singles match, you know what I would put on the wheel? Middle Earth. Because you know how many times he's talked about how he hates those movies? You know how many times that man talks about, and I played in the Middle Earth exhibition match. So I think that would take him.
There you go, Tushka.
And it looks like we got to jump straight to our patron discussion from many live patrons that have crept their way into the wonderful StreamYard servers. Guys, is there anyone out there? Anyone? No? Bueller? It looks like Rocha and Jay scared everybody away. So it looks like what? I got one question
we do have
from Drunken Prayer.
Questions.
I got one question from him. What's your favorite magic trick, and which performer's version do you think is the best?
That is such a good question. Wow. I would say so I think Penn and Teller are my favorite magicians there as a duo, and Teller does this trick called Shadows, and I have no earthly idea how it's done, but if you look up Penn and Teller Shadows, it's a quick short thing. It's one of the best illusions you'll ever see. It's just the highest form of art possible in magic. Magic is, a communicative art form, and it's just incredible. It's emotional and kind of gory, and it's so good. He has like a plant, like a flower, and there's like a white screen behind here, and he's got a light shining, so it casts the shadow of the plant, and he like cuts the leaves on the shadow, and the leaves of the actual plant fall.
Wow.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Okay, now I need to see this.
It's so good. Take it down. Watch it after the show. Penn and Teller Shadows. It's so good.
All right, and we also have a question from Jeremy Miller going, you won the Lord of the Rings exhibition. Is there another exhibition match from any category or franchise that you would like to play in?
I mean, really any IG franchise. I think I would love to do a rematch of the Middle Earth exhibition with Mara and Damon again, and if we can get Rachel back, or whoever's down for it, I think another one of those would be excellent. But I think maybe like I think a Wizarding World. It's been a while since we've had a Harry Potter exhibition. I think that would be fun. Yeah, those are maybe the biggest ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
I would love to watch a Wizarding World because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
And
I watched your match to study for. I watched your match to study for Souls. Your movie trivia face-off match. I may have watched that match to study for my match against Soul.
Yeah.
Wasn't enough. Soul beat me.
It's a good franchise. There's a lot of trivia to pull from. So I think
what we did, we kept it to the core 8. We left out Fantastic Beasts.
Don't blame
So if we could leave out Fantastic Beasts, I could do like Harry Potter anytime.
Yeah.
She slaps.
Yeah,
she's no joke. Guys, I was mistaken. We do have patrons here. Of course, this is the Ultimate Schmoedown After Show. Of course, we have patrons for Rocha. No one got scared away. My favorite director in the history of movie cinema is here. It is not Martin Scorsese. It is Alan Smithy. Come on down.
Hey, everybody. Alan Smithy wouldn't disrespect the MCU like Martin Scorsese did.
He's just jealous.
He would direct Ant-Man and the Wasp with pride.
That's right. I'll direct any movie they pay me to and take the credit for it.
He's got the right swag on, though. He's repping the right faction.
Looking good.
Yeah, booyah! But anyway, Parker, great to see you. An excellent win.
Thank you very much.
For this, let me just ask you, in general, whether it's whatever league, outside the dungeon, inside the dungeon, who is the Schmoedown competitor that you most admire? And you don't have to say Rocha, even though this is his channel.
That's fair. Admire. Wow, that's a really great question. Past competitor, I think it's got to be probably Rachel. She is. It's hard. I'd be hard pressed not to say her. When she was competing, she was my favorite Innergeekdom player. It's either her or past and hopefully future Kevin Smets once he gets back in the ring. He's a very, very good friend of mine. Obviously, we had some great news about him this last couple days. So he's the spiritual leader behind the dungeon. Whether he's the reason that most of the dungeon is put together the way it is, and we're always thinking about him. So definitely, he's a huge inspiration for me. And Mara as well, honestly, those three. I'm sorry it's just Innergeekdom players, but Mara, especially in the last couple months, she's been a huge inspiration for me. Her and Dan both have really, really anchored the dungeon. Yeah.
All right. Well, I love the dungeon. You guys are the best faction.
Damn right.
Dr. Exchange the best faction, but don't tell anybody it's in the dungeon. Anyway, so
Smithy, we won't tell nobody. Your secret's safe here with us, and we hope to see you back next week.
I know.
Hope to see you back next time, bud.
Thank you. Good to see you again, Parker.
Yeah,
and great to see the Ultimate Schmoedown After Show team.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Director.
We're revitalizing the Four Horsemen. It's official. Rocha said it. We can bring it back. He threw the trademark over. We have a couple more folks. We got Ryko. Canada rocks. Doesn't know where Canada is, though.
Okay. I won my match. How did you do in yours? That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Now back to some serious stuff.
Very serious.
Yeah. So Parker, I correct me if I'm wrong, but this year it just seems you're more relaxed than last year. I don't know if that loss did you actually good because it took the pressure off of you. Yeah, I assume so because you don't have you looked awesome. But I have a question. What are your 3 favorite films that are the most removed from the Innergeekdom that you could possibly think of?
It's a Wonderful Life. I'm trying to stay away from because there's a lot of fantasy or sort of adventure movies that are close that could be IG but aren't. Something like The Princess Bride's my favorite movie.
Oh yeah, that could be IG.
But that very well could be IG, right? So I'm the most removed stuff that you would never expect. It's a Wonderful Life, one of my favorite movies of all time. Oh man, I want to go look at my. I really enjoy. You know what? I love Eternal Sunshine, The Spotless Mind. I like that movie a lot.
Wonderful.
And About Time, the Donald Gleason, Rachel McAdams movie. Those are three
Uh,
wildly different directions, but all three of those
I hate to
movies
break
are-
this to you, but all of those have a bit of a fantasy / science
bit,
fiction
that's true.
bent to them. It's a tiny bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's true.
Please,
Uh,
sir,
here-
go
here-
into this closet, and when you come out, your daughter is your son. Yeah, it has nothing to do with Innergeekdom.
Right.
Zero.
Let me give me like 2 seconds.
No, I didn't mean.
No, you're good. But I
want
want to give a better answer than that. I'm sorry. I'll go quick. You're okay. I'm sorting something on Letter. Oh,
Is it?
okay.
Oh, is this like an app that like you sort all the movies you
Oh,
watch?
you also
Yeah.
use Letterboxd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Letterboxd. Yeah, it's a
Oh,
great
I'm
app.
a-
You
I'm
should
a
try
noob.
it. It could help you in your matches.
Right. Inglourious Bastards. That's not IG at all, but I fucking love that movie.
Oh, wait, sorry, what was that?
Inglourious Bastards.
That's the
hell
correct
yeah.
answer. That's the correct
great.
answer.
Absolutely love. Oh, The Prestige is great. 12 Angry Men, which I watched
I
for the
love
first time
that
last
movie.
year.
Oh,
That
God,
movie
yes.
rocks. And Tangled. There we go. That's
Boom.
a couple of the
We
better-
covered all 8 original categories of the movie trivia Schmoedown.
Right, there we go. Yeah. Unintentional.
Ryko, we appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you guys so much.
Thank you
All right,
so much.
bye.
Remember where Canada is next time.
Oh my god.
Last question of the evening comes from Bog's side of the world, Mr. Drunken Prayer.
Oh, well, I was about to ask Preston's question on his behalf, but seeing he's sent in the super chat now, I guess I can't.
I guess you're gonna have to ask another silly question, young
Oh, I'll just have to ask another silly question then. Robert.
Yeah.
How prepared are you for a stupid question?
I'm ready. I'm always down for bullshit.
If you had to pick 3 superheroes to be in a band, what superheroes would it be?
Ooh, to
And
be in
what
a
position
band.
would they play?
That's actually
I
really.
knew it was coming.
You brought it down to 3. It used to be 4.
Yeah, it used to be 4, but I thought I'd keep it
Three
short.
superheroes to be in a band. Okay, so you have to go Hawkeye, but not like Avengers Hawkeye, like Avengers Endgame Hawkeye. Been through some
Ooh,
stuff, has the
nice.
weird hair for sure. He's like, I see him as like either a bassist or a drummer.
I go bassist.
Singer in real life.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good bassist. I think that'd be fun. Who? So you got, I need like a lead, and then I think Flash would be the drummer. And I think. Oh man, who's
Yes,
just, your lead is Thor Ragnarok. Thor is your lead.
What, the lead singer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Easy.
good list, actually. Yeah.
He's got the charisma. You can't go for somebody like Superman or Captain America, even though I think they'd be great. They'd be like, they don't have that's something.
Yep, no, I agree
Drunken
with
Prayer.
that list.
I like
Thank you
that
very much.
question.
Classic
I like that
question, classic answer. Thank you so much. And of
Oh,
course,
boy.
as we say goodbye, we have our last question of the day from the man who keeps the lights on, from Brian Brawler. Mr. Parker, what are your thoughts on Pokemon?
I used to play Pokemon back in like the Sinnoh days. I was like that and pre. After that, I sort of fell off a little bit. But yeah, I'm a fan. I think it's probably the most popular, maybe the most popular anime in America. Maybe not, but certainly at the time when it was like at its peak, it was. But I have not stayed up to date with the best Pokemon news since like probably 10 years ago. Fell off the train a little bit, but I hear it's still good.
They remade Snap. That's really all you got to know.
That's important. That's big.
Yeah.
That was a good game. I remember that.
Well, this has been just an absolute pleasure. And Mr. Parker, I ask you to imagine for a moment that you've put on your finest Kingsman tailored suit, and you... Okay.
Is he actually gonna get it?
He's actually
I'm gonna
gonna
pause.
get it.
I'm gonna pause.
He's gonna prepare for the promo. Okay.
I'm gonna pause.
Dress rehearsal.
And
Dress rehearsal.
Mr. Nerd Chronic, if you are okay, and he is
There we
back
go.
and joining us. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Oh my goodness, here he is. Mr. Parker, I ask you this. Why in the world should the Innergeekdom division be scared of a man in a suit in the kitchen?
Here's the thing. I am the greatest Innergeekdom player there has ever been by every measurable metric except championships. And within the next few months, even that'll change. All right. I have the most knowledge, the most gameplay, everything that will make me a champion and a legend. The next player I have to play, Chance Ellison. I hope you're listening right now, because last time you beat me was a fluke. It was a mistake, and it will not happen again.
Live event material, folks. If you, Jay Washington or Grace, who the powers above, are watching the first live event, if it is not Parker versus Ellison 2, you are doing the job wrong. And Bryant, you are not wrong as well. Mr. Parker, we bid you adieu.
Yeah,
and we thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Anything you want to plug real quick?
Yeah, plug away.
You can follow me on Twitter at Kaiser Says So. You can find all my thoughts on that Twitter page. And other than that, just keep watching the Dungeon win this season, man.
Boom.
Thank you, Parker.
Great.
Have
a great
We
day, guys.
appreciate you, bud. Have a great night. What else you want?
Sorry.
Don Toretto rolling
He got
by.
out fast.
Boom. John Barr.
Yeah.
I have a
One more
favor
match.
to ask. We have one more match to get through, and I have a challenge for you.
Okay.
You have 5 minutes and one question to any of the guests. Only one, or the host. You can ask one of us a question about it, but you have to keep this to 5 minutes, sir. Go.
All right. Well, this was a tough one. Obviously, the match that incited the Ultimate Schmoedown Aftershow Civil War on Twitter. This was a tough one to call. Obviously, VideoDrew, someone who's been getting consistently better and better and one of the most fearsome newer competitors, versus Marisol McKee, someone that made a huge splash as part of the upstart KOrruption faction that tore up the faction standings last year, and it's also a Philadelphia native. So how the heck can you root against this person? The three of us that did? Huh? Not me. I'm on the right side of history. Both perfect rounds. Round one. Not a whole lot to say there because not a whole lot happened other than wins, other than right answers, back and forth, showing off the shoes and the blindfolds. This was a fashion show, and both of them absolutely tore it up with questions. 9-9 coming out of the first round. Then round two, VideoDrew getting SNL movies. Something about being live from New York at Saturday night. Something about it is just magnetized, drawn to VideoDrew. Is it Bobby Moynihan? None of us know for sure. There's only one question that she missed. The Stewart saves his family. I don't know what the heck that is. Marisol didn't either, wasn't able to get the steal, but still 5 out of a possible 8 points. You can't be mad at that. Only thing you can do is do a little bit better. And that's what Marisol did when she spun away from 2010s and got Kevin Hart, a category that VideoDrew spun away from. Maybe she should have stuck with it because Marisol managed to get 7 out of a possible 8 points. Fearsome performances by both, but it was just enough that we had a 2-point lead coming out of it for Marisol 16 as opposed to VideoDrew's 14. And then we got into round 3. VideoDrew, she got a couple tough questions. The 21 Jump Street. Hey, I'm always glad for another opportunity to sing the praises of Phil Lord and Chris Miller. You should really check them out, including their new movie, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, that just dropped on Netflix. She also missed the Saving Private Ryan one. You know, there's so many dudes in that. You just got to name the right dude. She didn't have the right dude. That's okay. There's still dudes in movies. She got that Notebook 5-pointer, which bounced it back to Marisol. So this was not any kind of KO. Marisol had to earn that win, and earn it she did with both her What About Bob 2-pointer and the Finest Hours 3-pointer. Marisol absolutely proving that she is a rookie to be feared and absolutely deserving of that title track as well. It'll be interesting to see if both members of Deception can hold a belt by the time this year is out singularly, as well as maybe together if they can get past Rushmore. But then also VideoDrew, if you're still talking down about VideoDrew, you're a goddamn idiot. And I'm going to smack you so hard that your hair is going to turn more white than that half of VideoDrew's was. This was an absolute great match, proving why the Dungeon is feared, but proving why the KOrruption faction is always going to be afraid of. My one question is for Colin, how the heck did I do?
You did fantastic. That is
like
it.
3.
If you ever need to know how a Schmoedown match should be broken down, that is it, sir. And folks,
I'm going to have no voice tomorrow.
No, I just wanted to save you for that moment. I had 3 minutes. We had an hour 48 we're at right now.
I just needed with my hat.
I just needed 3 of them, you know? I just needed 3 of those minutes, and you absolutely crushed it. Which brings us to the current standings of the Ultimate Schmoedown After Show picks. Bring on in producer Sean as we break this down.
All right, guys. With the current standings, we have John Barr as Don Toretto draws 5. He's echoing that. John Barr is in last place with 19 points. I am second to last with 21 points. Colin, 22. Woo! And now Boggs is not the only one in the lead. Sean is, we have tied for first place with 26 points, Boggs and Sean, because Sean did not go for his girl. VideoDrew, no loyalty.
Oh, Lord. Me and Drew have an understanding. We're cool. Don't try to start something. There's nothing there. We're all good. It's good. We're cool.
Well, sure. Do we need to put apology out or anything? No.
No.
Still got a job with her? Or?
I'm fine. We're fine. All's good. We're all good. How are you?
Checking. Yeah. Well,
anybody got a list of these matches?
Yeah.
And I'll read them out thusly, starting with number 1, Zach Burkett versus Adam Witt, the first match of the Star Wars tournament. So, Boggs, I'll start with you. Who you got?
Adam Witt, man. I just will him. I really, really, really want him to win, man. So, I'm pretty sure he's in. I believe that Zach has won Dragon Con in the past, so I could be wrong there. Someone correct me in the chat if I am wrong. But I've heard he's really good. But I just so want Adam Witt to win, like especially how he played against Harper and stuff. So I'm pulling for him.
There we go, Colin.
Adam Witt.
Fair enough. All right, Sean.
Adam Witt.
There we go. Soul.
I am also going with Adam Witt. He needs a win.
Zach Burkett, we love you, buddy. We'd love to have you on the show, but all of us are, I'm afraid, going to have to vote for Adam Witt. Next up, we have Danger Zone versus the midterms. No, we don't. We have a different match. Deception versus Blackjack. Adam Collins and Marisol McKee going up against Janine the Machine and Jacoby Bancroft, who we've now seen a little bit of. Colin, starting with you. Who do you have?
If I don't pick Deception, I feel like I just don't. I have to pick Deception. I love Janine. Jacoby's energy in his first match. It came right out, and you want to say yes, but I have to take Adam and Marisol.
Fair enough, Sean.
I don't see how you can pick against Deception, so I'm going to pick Deception.
There we go, Soul.
I'm also going with Deception.
Oh, I'm so tempted to pick Blackjack. I will say I'm going to edge it to Deception, but I really think this one's going to be a tight race. Boggs, what do you think?
Yeah, no doubt Deception. I kind of wish they played someone else, but like another O&O team, just because it'd be hard to pick them, but no, definitely Deception. I mean, yeah.
Can I unswerve? Can I swerve on my last pick? Can I pick Zach? Can I switch?
Oh, because you just saw the message that he did.
No, I just want to swerve. No, I just want to swerve.
Okay.
I like to swerve. I'm a terrible driver.
I'll allow it. Watch yourself, counselor.
Two switches.
Watch yourself.
2 switches.
Watch yourself. All right.
I mean, two straight. Nobody wants to see that. Who wants to see?
Well, we'll allow it this time, Colin.
We'll allow it. You get one per picks. You get one. So now we go to the next team match.
Oh, great. In that case, for last week's picks, I want to swerve. I'm just playing. We have Danger Zone versus the midterms. This is the one I almost said before. Sean, starting with your pick, who do you have in this match?
I mean, how could you not go against Danger Zone? I mean, yeah, Danger Zone.
Soul, who do you have for this match?
I'm sorry, Swag. I'm sorry, Winston. I'm sorry, Aisha. I'm going Danger Zone.
Oh, no. And then I'm unloyal. Okay.
Well, I think we're about to have another sweep, it sounds like, on our hands, but I'm also going to go Danger Zone. Boggs, who do you have?
Danger Zone TKO. Remember my TKO last week that I predicted?
Oh!
It was right, wasn't it?
I wouldn't go that far.
It's done already. It's done already, girl. I'm telling you. TKO.
Colin,
I've been waiting for this. John, I think you might know what's coming. Lana! Danger Zone!
That's a Bob's Burgers reference. Yeah, excellent. There we go.
This is how we get ants.
This is how we get ants in our burger restaurant. Those are the matches I have written down. Which ones do we have? Rick Radis versus Biggie Gubbins, and then the pay-per-view coming up. Is that
and then this is the undercard for the pay-per-view. Yes.
Well. How about that? I didn't think we would be so blessed 2 weeks in a row. But here we are with Peggy Gubbins versus Rick Radis. Oh boy, Soul, who do you have?
I think I'm a believer of the Finstock exchange right now. I'm going with Rick Radis.
I bet against Peggy Gubbins last time publicly, and I was made a fool, and I shan't be made a fool again. I rooted for Rick Radis last time. I'm gonna vote for Peggy Gubbins this time. Boggs, who you got?
Gonna go with that man with that sweet entrance music that he's got. Definitely going for Rick Radis. Yeah, no disrespect to Peggy, but yeah, Rick Radis is a hell of an entertainer, and I'm going for him for the win.
Fair enough, Colin. What about you?
Peggy.
Oh, I'll assume you mean Gubbins. Sean.
Peggy Radis.
Oh, no. Who you got?
Oh, go with the first word he said. Peggy.
Okay, all right. A little bit more of an even split. And that brings us to Andrew DiMolanta. I was about to say Alex because I was thinking about the current Star Wars champion, but no, that's Andrew DiMolanta. Hard fought, well earned, going right back up against Alex Damon. Classical rubber match. I think it's going to be crazy, but as the man who knows the least about Star Wars, I'll lead it off. I think Andrew is going to retain that belt. I think he's about to go 2-0 or 2-1. How many times I don't care. I think Andrew's going to win this time, and that's what matters. Boggs, what say you?
I'm going to DiMolanta. Yeah. I want to see a kind of different era now in Star Wars. So, yeah, I want to see the champ kind of defend all these different, these kind of awesome people who are in the game now. So, yeah, let Damon go through a tournament or something. Let's see something different. So, yeah, DiMolanta, definitely.
There you go. Peggy, I'm sorry. I got you this time. I let you down last
Peggy,
time.
I picked you.
Peggy.
Peggy, I love you. I love you,
Okay.
Peggy.
I got you. You know what's up.
All right, Colin. Who do you have in the Star Wars match? God damn it! Stop humiliating us in front of Peggy and tell us.
I got you. I'm like, all right. She saw it. Like,
with your girlfriend and your right answers, you son of a. Who you
Alright,
got,
let's
Colin?
No, guys, this needs like a 5-minute break. Like this has potential to be match of the year, as was their first match.
You do have 2 minutes if you need it.
This is something that we've never seen before, where Alex Damon is coming off of a true loss in the Star Wars division. You have never seen the Russian cut that is Alex Damon come back in the Star Wars division. This is Darth Vader after he cut off his son's arm and then had to see him again some months later and deal with the ramifications. You now have to sit on this. Alex has sat on this for a month. Give me Alex Damon in overtime.
how many rounds is it going to? Anyone want to have a guess?
12.
Oh,
I say 12. Mark me down for 12.
I can't count. Sean, who do you have for this match?
DiMolanta.
Oh boy, there you go. Succinct and to the point. And Soul, how about you?
I'm going to go with this from a psychological standpoint. Andrew DiMolanta had that fire to get that belt. All his focus was to get that belt. Now Alex Damon is in the spot that Andrew DiMolanta was. Andrew DiMolanta, not saying that he's going to slack off, not saying that he's not studying, because you know he is. But Alex Damon knows what it's like to not have that belt in that room now after he had it in that room for over 2 years. I'm going Alex Damon.
There you go. Well, we've made our picks, and I'll probably still be losing next week, but that's okay. Let's just talk about one thing that will also be true next week, which is that all four of us are going to be there and be so delightful, aren't we, Colin?
Of course. And this is just what Saturdays are all about. It's breaking down the Schmoedown. Like, 5 matches in a week coming up. Like, where else do you need to be except right here? I'm going to throw it around the horn. Boggs, what do the folks need to know about you?
Shout out to Soul in the chat. Sorry about the picking against the Dem, but you know that's how it goes sometimes. So, just catch us next week, Saturday, live 3 p.m. PST. Also catch us on the Pop Culture Universe as well. We do Invincible review, aren't we, Soul? So that should be cool. Yep. Some other stuff coming as well. So, but yeah, apart from that, catch us next week, 3 p.m. PST on Saturday. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for Super Chat, Streamlabs. Like the video, comment, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. And my sweet, sweet, sweet boy, John Barr, you and I have had a long day. We went to work about the same time globally, not the same time for each other. And how have you survived this glorious Saturday?
I've had to do a lot of yelling. And if you want to watch me yell other places internet, you can check me out at John Barr Tweets on Twitter and Instagram. Check out John Barr on YouTube. I think the URL is /BARR Tender410 because I made that username in middle school.
Love it. Just like my Chacal23 AIM username, I throw it over to Soul. How are you?
Yeah, so let's talk about usernames back then. It used to be SunBaby2012. So.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But you can find me actually at my name, Soul Coven, on Twitter. And like Bog says, check out that Invincible review that we're about to do. We unfortunately didn't do episode by episode, so I have a lot to talk about Invincible for the whole season, and I'm glad that Boggs watched it. I convinced him.
Thanks to you. Yeah.
To watch it. So I'm super excited.
Folks, you can find me later tonight on Schmoedown competitor Jesse the Jackal Swift's wedding funding extravaganza, where me, some other guys, PLD out there, PJ Campbell, some other folks are going to be over on Jesse's YouTube channel raising money so our boy the Jackal can have the finest, baddest wedding anyone in the Schmoedown has ever seen.
Hey.
So head on over there in about an hour, and things about to get crazy tonight. But that'll do it for us here on this edition of the Ultimate Schmoedown After Show. Thank you to the Outlaw himself, John Rocha, to Robert Parker, and the Commissioner, the Urban Gladiator, Jay Washington, stopping by for a second. We are just gracious to be in thy presence. Folks, we thank you for hanging out for the last 2 hours, and we will see y'all next week. 6 o'clock Eastern. Bye.
I'm
Soul in the chat
exhausted.
saying he needs money for his funeral soon. He keeps running his mouth.
Oh, happy International Workers' Day.
Yeah, International Workers' Day.
International Bosses Day can eat my butt.
I like that I have the same microphone as Robert Parker.